Hello everybody, welcome to HopTopics. My name is Matt.
I'm Cameron.
And today we're talking about
The Big
Big Lebowski. Yes, one of our favorite movies.
Yeah.
And today's drink is not a beer, but...
The White Russian.
Yes.
Or the Caucasian. Yeah. Like the dude.
Yeah. It's delicious. It's one of my favorite mixed drinks. So, in order to make the drink, all you have to do is just layer vodka, and then layer Kahlua, and then layer half and half.
Vodka. Kahlua. With half and half. All equal parts over ice.
Yep.
Stirred. That's it.
And that's it.
Super easy drink.
Yeah.
Super tasty.
It'll get you there real fast.
it'll definitely get you there. And yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's super simple. One of my favorite drinks of all time.
And it's one of only 2 drinks the dude drinks during the movie.
Throughout the entire movie. Yep.
He drinks White Russians or Miller.
Miller. Yeah,
Miller Lite or MGD.
Yep.
One of those two. But, yeah, let's talk about the movie. This is a cult classic, 1998 movie. Wasn't super well received when it came out.
Not at first, no.
It was coming off the heels of Fargo.
Yeah,
which the Coen brothers also directed. They directed this as well. And, yeah, like, it was coming off of Fargo, which was, like, Oscar winning and,
it
got
was
a
also,
bunch of awards
also a good movie.
and, the actors and everything, like, was a great, fantastic movie. And then The Big Lebowski comes out, and, it's just such a tone shift.
Severely.
That. It's still got some of that kind of weird, quirky, almost dark humor, but, it's definitely a lot goofier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And, the movie opens up with Sam Elliott as the stranger.
Yeah.
Giving us a kind of poor narration, really. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Yeah, he goes off on tangents.
He goes off on tangents, just kind of, like, does his own thing. It's just like, he loses track of what he's saying. And all the while, the beginning, we're seeing a tumbleweed go from the desert through the city and out to the beach. And the song that's playing during that section is called The Tumbling Tumbleweed, which is obviously a reference to the dude who just goes with the flow, lives in the moment, and he's not really, trying to bother anybody or do anything, against anybody. He's just kind of going along. Yep. Which is really cool.
Yep, he's just basically just going through life, kind of living in the present, not really worrying about anything. He's just, living his life.
Man, I'm like a mean Caucasian.
Yes, it is pretty good.
Yeah, and then we see the dude for the first time, buying some half and half at the store.
Yep.
Opening it up, smelling it. We see at the register he's got a little cream in his mustache. And he writes a check for 69 cents.
69 cents, which pretty much sets the entire tone for how the dude is, essentially.
Yeah. It's just like, whatever, man.
Exactly.
And it's great.
Your opinion, man.
Yeah. And, less relevant, but still relevant. Takes place in the early 90s, 91.
91.
During the Gulf War. And, this is a movie that throughout the entire thing doesn't go anywhere. Just like the Gulf War.
Yep. It's never really...
It's just kind of like meaningless symbolism.
Yep.
But it's there nonetheless. You hear George Bush is the first one saying, this act of aggression
will not stand.
Which is also used a couple times throughout the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's like one of the first lines other than Sam Elliott's lines, and it's echoed throughout the movie later on. This aggression will not stand, man. But yeah, and then we go to the Carpet Pissers.
Yep. Woo and
I don't
never say
his
the
name.
white guy's name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they did, I totally forgot what it is, and you know.
The fucking toilet seat's up, man.
The toilet seat's up, man. Does
it look like I'm married?
Yeah. But it's during this that you kind of get the dude, you know, he has that, kind of quick wit.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's shoving his face in the toilet, and he's all like, "Where's the money, Lebowski?" "I don't know. I think it's down there. Just give me another look." Dunks his head again, and then when he pulls out the bowling balls, what the fuck is this? Oh yeah, explicit warning, by the way.
Yeah,
we're gonna be swearing a lot in this one.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Obviously, you're not a golfer.
So, yeah, great, just like quick wit sarcasm, and I love it. That's one of the more endearing traits of the dude. But yeah, and then the quote unquote Chinaman pisses on his rug, which is, said later on by Walter, like, "Oh, Chinaman's not the
that's the correct word. What's the word?
I forget the word that he uses for it.
He uses one.
But he's just like, so like, yeah, you shouldn't say Chinaman. It's not right. But
it's not a Chinaman that built the railroads, Walter. He's a Chinaman that pissed on my rug.
Chinaman that pissed on my rug. Yeah, and so they're going back and forth about this, about how, this aggression will not stand, and, like, that the Big Lebowski, the movie's namesake, really, should be the one to actually pay for the rug. And so, like, the dude's just like, yeah, like, if anything, he should do it, and then kind of drops it, and then Walter comes in, and he's just all like, yeah, he should be paying for that fucking rug,
That rug really tied the room together, dude.
Really tied the room together. That's said a lot of times in the movie. I saw a video where they actually had a count of how many times they say fuck in the movie, which it's like when the dude's talking to the stranger, Sam Elliott's character, he asks him, "Do you really gotta swear so much?"
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
What the fuck are you talking about, man? And that's just great.
Yep.
But it's like something like 262 times throughout the movie. And it's just under 2 hours long.
It's not the highest amount of F words dropped in a movie, but it's up there. It's up there.
But yeah. So basically, goes to the Big Lebowski part of the movie, and he's talking with Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, who's just like this kind of suck-up, kiss-ass,
brown nosing.
Yeah, exactly. And, going through, like, Lebowski makes sure to put up all his, achievements on the wall, trying to make it look like he's super important and stuff, which is relevant later on in the movie. And, when he meets the dude, he's a huge dick. Like, throughout the entire thing. He's just, like, berating him and telling him, he should get a job. He shouldn't, write out on other people's accomplishments. He never got any handouts. He accomplished so much even when a Chinaman took his legs in Korea. and then references that, his wife is living on an allowance that he gives her. And so, this is all foreshadowing. It's kind of all setting up later on in the movie when we find out that he's the one living on the allowance. He's never really accomplished all that much. And
everything, like they tried to let him run something and he failed at it miserably.
Yeah.
And he his daughter said herself that like vanity is his biggest sin. He's very big on appearances.
Mm-hmm. And so, on the way out, the dude's just like, the Big Lebowski's yelling at the dude, just screaming at him, the bums will never win, the bums will never win. But on the way out, Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, how'd your meeting go? And he's like, oh, good. He said, I can just take any rug I want.
Any rug in the house.
Any rug in the house. And does just that. And so he's walking out with the rug. He sees Bunny Lebowski, the Big Lebowski's wife. And, yeah. Some funny moments there. And get the nihilist passed out in the pool.
Uh-huh.
The German guy.
Must be exhausting.
Must be exhausting. He doesn't believe in anything. Oh, must be exhausting. Which is another, just like nice little quip, But yeah, and then you kind of see the extent to, Bunny's money troubles and nymphomania as, she's like, I'll suck your cock for $1,000. And, it's just a funny little moment, and as he's leaving, he's just all like, I'm going to go find a cash machine. But yeah, and that leads to the next scene in the bowling alley where, Donnie, another strike.
Mm-hmm.
That's how we're introduced to the scene every time they're in the bowling alley, is Donnie gets a strike, and then goes back to where the dude is talking and usually talking to Walter, but Walter comes in and he's like 20 minutes late. He's bringing his ex-wife's dog with him. Call it a Pomeranian. It's like a Schnauzer or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. I don't know. I didn't actually look up what kind of dog it was.
It's a tiny dog.
It's a small dog. It's got fucking papers, dude. You can't board it. It gets anxious and it starts losing its hair.
It gets depressed and it starts losing its hair.
But yeah, so, and then the whole, scene with Walter pulling out his pistol on Smokey, and
yeah, because he crossed the line.
And it kind of shows you Walter's rigid, structure on the rules and how he's very strict with things, which is totally the opposite of the dude who's just like, go with the flow. Like, hey man, don't worry about it. It's like,
just let it go.
It's not a big deal. And then Walter's, am I the only one who gives a fuck about the rules? But yeah, they're kind of like a dysfunctional couple, really. Walter and the dude.
Yep.
Which is hilarious. And then, the dude's getting all pissed off at Walter because he pulls a gun out and everything and, threatens a guy and does all this stuff. And Walter's, totally calm now. And it's like, it's just like every time Walter's all pissed off and everything, the dude's just, chilling, hey, man, stop doing that. Come on, let's just chill. And then every time the dude's pissed off, Walter's just, doesn't make a big deal out of it at all. He's just calling you. Calling you, dude. Calling you right now.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. And then back to the apartment. And the dude's making himself a White Russian, like he does.
Yep.
And, yeah. He's got a poster of Richard Nixon bowling above his bar, which I don't think means anything. I think it's just funny. I think it was just a picture that he saw. He was just all yeah, I'm gonna put that up. And
I think it's this more of the contrarianism, because Richard Nixon was very corrupt and everything like that, and dude's very just aloof. And doesn't really care about much.
Yeah, I can see that.
It could be nothing though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Just guessing at this point.
And then he's just chilling. He's just doing Tai Chi on the rug that he took, and you're hearing the answering machine going off, and it's It's Philip Seymour Hoffman's character. I always forget his name. I should have written that down. Brian. Yeah, you see him, or you hear him, and he's calling. He's all like, "Oh, it's not about the rug. It's, like, hey, we need you to do something. Come in as soon as you can." And then you go back to the Big Lebowski's place. The dramatic music and the,
very operatic music.
Yeah, operatic, very dramatic.
All the lights are like turned down. The only thing that's like like the lighting that's in the scene is from the fireplace that he's sitting in front of.
Yeah. And the Big Lebowski's putting on this whole freaking, like dramatic monologue about, strong men cry and all this crap, and telling him about the kidnapping and the ransom of his wife. And, it looking back at it, it definitely kind of, foreshadows him being set up, because it's like, it seems like a practice thing, It seems like something that he's just, going through to try and be dramatic, to try and, do what he can. And the dude's just like, whatever.
That's a bummer, man.
Yeah, that's a bummer, man.
Might have smoked a J.
Might have felt like a J. And so, yeah. So he becomes the courier for the ransom money, and is given a cell phone, which back in '91 was this box with a phone attached to it. And yeah, they go back to the bowling alley where he's got the phone, and or he's got a pager or whatever.
He's got a pager.
Yeah, he's got the pager. He doesn't get the phone until later.
Yeah, doesn't get the phone until a little bit later. But
yeah,
he's got the phone. He's got the pager.
But then we get one of the funniest scenes, which is the Jesus bowling, and like this guy's just over the top, freaking skin tight purple bowling suit, and he's got like one pinky nail that's still longer and painted. He's wearing rings, and he like. When he picks up the ball, he's like licking it, and just like all sorts of weird stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're playing Hotel California, about like a Spanish version, with like flamenco guitar and in Spanish, and it's kind of funny.
It was great. It was a good song too. It was
it's a great song. I love that rendition. Like the cover of it is fantastic. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's like it's just showing like the over the top attitude of this guy. And, yeah, so we get the Jesus, and then, what happens? Is that when, the dude and Walter are talking about it, and it's like, yeah, probably kidnapped herself, and all that stuff, and it's like, yeah, it should just be an easy, 20 grand. And then, like, while they're talking, they kind of cut to Jesus polishing his bowling ball in a really, flamboyant way.
Yeah, really super unnecessary.
Yeah. But, funny shit. And they're talking about, they're talking about, Bunny having kidnapped herself. She'll be easy money, and then something. It's like something about Lennon and Donnie sitting there. It's like, I'm the horse.
I'm the horse.
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.
You're out of your element, Donnie.
You're out of your element, Donnie. Yeah. It's just another really funny scene, and it's setting up the handoff scene where the dude's supposed to take the money, and so he goes back to the apartment, and is listening to bowling sounds on his tape deck.
And tape deck from I think it was 89 or like 86 or something like that.
I think it was 86.
I think it was 86.
Yeah,
so like one of those 2 years.
Yeah.
And he's just listening to the sounds of like the ball striking the pins, and like he's just relaxing on his rug, and then he wakes up and there's a woman and 2 guys.
Yep. And she nods, and one of them just punches him right in the
He
face.
cold cocks him right in the face.
So he gets knocked out, wakes up.
And get our first dream sequence.
Yo, we do get the first
dream sequence. Yeah, where he's flying through the air, just not a care in the world. He sees his rug with the lady on it, and then all of a sudden, as he's trying to get closer, he's got a bowling ball in his hand.
Yep, just drops straight down.
Just drops straight down. Yeah. Which it was good. It was a good, like, I like the symbolism in that too. Like he has to pretty much drop everything for bowling, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, like...
Well, he even says, like, when he's got the pager, it's like, oh, what if they ring you during, league play? So I told him, man.
I told him nothing during
league play.
Yeah. Like, everything stops for bowling.
Yeah, everything stops for bowling. Like, bowling's, like, the most important thing to the dude.
Yeah,
other than just, being the dude.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, he wakes up, beeper's going off. That sets up the whole him going and getting the cell phone and the ransom money. And then he goes and he picks up Walter. And, even though he was told to go alone, and they were very specific about that, and they said, and they repeated to him, her life is in your hands, dude.
Yeah,
her life is in your hands. And so that kind of, like, freaks him out, Like, he gets all worried and shit. And then Walter comes in, and he's got, like, a briefcase and,
something wrapped in, like
freaking paper
and
taped up and stuff. And they freaking go to do the handoff, and on the phone the dude slips that, we are heading out, we got the money, and they're like, us, or we, or, like, what does that mean, who's there with you? And Walter's just freaking yelling and just fucking shit up left and right.
Mm-hmm. As he does.
Yeah. And so they're driving down the road, they get the phone call, and then the guy hangs up, and then they get the second phone call, and they give him the instructions for, dropping off the money. The whole time Walter's just all like, we're going to do is we're going to, hand off the money, and then I'm going to grab one of them, and I'm going to beat the location out of them, where,
It's a foolproof plan, Walter.
It's a foolproof plan. It's so fucking simple. How could it fail? So, like, then they call and they're all like, you got to throw the money out of the window. And he's like, well, no, that doesn't work. That screws up our whole plan. Well, Walter, your plan was so fucking simple.
Why don't you call him back and
try to explain it to him? So that was great. I love the dude's answers to, like, everything. Mm-hmm. He's just so quippy and hilarious.
But very nonchalant about, like, most things that he's doing, and it's like everything just rolls off the tongue for him.
Yeah. And so he's getting ready to throw the money out of the car, and Walter's just like, here, give me the ringer, dude. Give me the ringer. And Walter ends up throwing the ringer bag, which is filled with his dirty underwear, which he later wants back. And freaking, oh, thanks, man.
No problem.
So I'm gonna throw the money out. I don't need you to take the wheel. I'm jumping out of the car, and reveals that he has this freaking Uzi wrapped up in the paper and stuff. And so he goes to do that, drops the gun. The gun goes off, shoots the dude's car. The dude crashes into a telephone pole, and then you see three guys on motorcycles hightailing out of the ditch
off with the ringer.
With the ringer, and Walter's whole thing is just like, "Fuck it, dude, let's go bowling."
Let's go bowling.
And
sure enough, they go bowling.
And they're back at the bowling alley. Phone's ringing off the hook because the dude still has it. And
phone's ringing, dude.
And then they get the schedule for the next bowling match. It's on Saturday, and Walter starts freaking out because it's the Jewish day of rest.
Shabbos.
It's Shabbos. And so he's like freaking out about it, and like the dude's trying to be out like, they're gonna kill that freaking girl. They're gonna kill that poor girl. And Walter's like talking to Donnie. Like, Walter's so in his own world, and he's super selfish about everything. He's just like talking to Donnie without even acknowledging the dude half of the time. And oh man, what does he say? He said something pretty funny. Well,
like you said, it's yourself, dude. She kidnapped herself.
Yeah.
And then he starts walking the dude like, they're gonna kill that poor woman.
Yeah.
As they're walking out of the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And like when they leave, they go outside and the dude's car is gone.
Mm-hmm. Somebody stole the dude's car with the original briefcase in the trunk.
Yep.
And and then the dude's just all like, fuck it, man. I'm just walking home. And he starts walking home, and the phone's still ringing, and Donnie's like, phone's ringing, dude.
Thanks, Donnie.
Thanks, Donnie.
Files a police report with the police about the car as well as the rug. And then he gets a message saying that, like, I was the one that took your rug, so if you want to contact me, we can set up a meeting. And the police make a joke about that, and they're like, you probably don't want to hold too much hope out for the car.
Or the Cretans.
The tape deck.
Yeah.
Or
I wouldn't
the
hold out
Cretans.
much hope for the tape deck. Or the Cretans.
And yeah, so that's when we get introduced to Maud Lebowski, who is an expressionist artist. All of her artwork is very expressionist. She's a self-proclaimed feminist. She's very into her artwork. She's very blunt to the point. She's very straightforward with everything. She wants something, she tells you. Even when she's talking to the dude, she's very abrupt.
Yeah.
She doesn't beat around the bush at all. She's she's very upfront about everything, which you can see is where she gets it from, because her father is very abrupt, and she's much less of an asshole, but he's
much less.
Yeah, but I mean, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Yeah.
So, but she eventually convinces him to go. She talks him into going to do this doctor.
Yeah,
and then
for the punch in the face.
Yeah, for the punch in the face.
It's not made clear why she wants him to go to the doctor, but she just says he's a good man and very thorough, and so gives him the number, the name.
Yep, the name and the number. She says that you won't get charged or anything like that.
Yeah, he's a good man and thorough.
So she sends him back home in a limo. And he gets out of the car. He gets out of the limo.
And some other guy grabs him and pulls him towards another limo. And he's just like, "Whoa, man, careful, man! There's a beverage in hand. Beverage in hand." Throws him into the car where the Big Lebowski is, and Brian, the assistant.
Yep.
And the dude's starts rambling on about you're not
got some new information,
man. So it's obviously he didn't know all the new shit, and that's when they give him the toe, the severed toe.
It's the severed toe
with the nail polish that Bunny was putting on.
We cut to Walter, the dude talking about it, and Walter's like, "Dude, you want a toe? I can get you a toe. I can get you a toe by 3 o'clock this afternoon.
I can get you a toe.
With
nail polish.
Amateurs.
Yeah, fucking amateurs." And not only that, but this is another moment where the dude's freaking out, and Walter's just totally calm. But then it kind of flips the script on, Walter starts getting loud, and the dude's just like, "Dude, calm down." Walter, calm down.
Yeah.
Not everything has to be about fucking
Vietnam. My friends didn't die in the muck. This is not a First Amendment thing, man. But yeah, and then it cuts back to the dude. Oh shit! What happened after that?
Let's see.
Is that the one? No, that's not the one. That's too early.
Oh, freaking, the marmot.
Oh, the marmot!
The dude's laying in the bathtub, smoking a joint.
The dude's laying in the bathtub trying to relax, listening to whale songs.
Yeah,
and
listening to whale noises. He's laying in the bathtub, candle lit, and he's smoking a J, and freaking, like, these guys come into his house and, like, smash his tape deck. Or no, the answering machine.
The answering machine.
The answering machine. Yeah. Because he was getting a phone call right at that time.
It was the police telling him that they found his car.
And, yeah, then it's the nihilists, the Germans, freaking coming in. And they got this fucking ferret on a leash. And the dude's just like, oh, nice marmot. And they drop it in the bathtub. He's like freaking out. He's like, ah! Ah!
He's like slapping at it.
He's like slapping at it, and you hear all like the screams and stuff from the freaking from the animal. Fucking yeah. Not really a whole lot about that scene, except they say they're gonna cut off his Johnson if he doesn't give him the money, and so. After that, he goes to recover the car. It's been even more beat to shit than it was. You know, like, originally you see the car and it's, you know, a rusty hunk of junk. Mm-hmm. But then he crashes it and it gets shot. And then it gets stolen. And now he gets the car back. There's front door handle and, you know, rear view mirror are gone. The side view mirror are gone. He's got to get in from the passenger side. They probably use it as a toilet because it smells like shit. Yep. And the briefcase is missing. And so, freaking... oh, man. What happens? Then,
goes home.
Yeah.
Oh, no, he goes to the bowling alley.
Yeah.
And that's when he talks to Walter about the marmot.
Yeah. You know, it's, in the state of California, it's illegal to have. Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about, Walter?
I don't give a shit about the fucking marmot.
I don't give a shit about the fucking marmot. Guys are nihilists. I think they give a shit. and then, you know, Walter's been pretty much fucking everything up for the dude. Yep. And, you know, they're like arguing back and forth, and right at the end, you know, the dude's just like, fuck you, Walter, and fuck the tournament. And that's like what pushes Walter over, you know, just like to go back to it. And then we get another recurring song, Tumbling Tumbleweeds, again. And
that's when Samuel L's character, the stranger, comes in.
Yeah. And that's where we get the line, you know, do you really have to use so many cuss words?
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
I love the way he's just like, he's not wearing his glasses. Like, the fuck are you talking about, man? And, yeah, it's just fucking funny. Mm-hmm. You know, that's like one of my favorite lines.
Oh, yeah, it's a great line.
What the fuck are you talking about? Then he goes and sees Maud again. Mm-hmm. Maud Lebowski. And he's just like, maybe I should tender my resignation. Yeah. He's just like, I just don't want to be part of this anymore. Like, this is fucked up. I'm tired of it. I'm done. Yeah, you know,
he just wants the bowl. Yeah. But she convinces him to keep looking, and like eventually he does go to the doctor.
Yeah. And before that, I do want to mention the fucking weird ass like giggling scene that was taking place. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why that dude was in there. Like, there's so many moments of this movie that could have been cut out, and it could have been the same movie, but those moments are so like key to this.
The fuck
movie.
is his problem?
Yeah. The fuck is his problem?
And she doesn't she doesn't address what the problem is. She just says who he is. Mm-hmm. And it's just this designer that's hanging out. That's a friend of Maud's. Yeah. And he just keeps laughing like while he's reading this magazine.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, didn't mention the part where he. Oh wait, no, that's when he's leaving Maud's. he does go see the doctor, and then on the way back, he's like smoking a joint, and then he goes to flick it out the window, and it lands back in his lap, and he fucking freaks out.
Pours the beer that
he's drinking. While driving.
Yeah.
All over himself to try and like extinguish it. And then he like crashes into a dumpster.
Yep.
And, yeah, like another time the car just is not having a good time here in this movie.
And that's when he finds the homework of this student called Larry Sellers.
Larry Sellers.
And they figure out where, and then Walter comes up and talks to the dude saying where the kid lives.
Something near the In-N-Out.
Yeah.
Those are some good burgers, Walter. Shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up, And he's like, we'll go over there and like, Larry's dad wrote a book of the series that they used to watch when they were kids called Branded. And
which they actually like it's partially based on real people.
Yeah.
Like there are certain aspects of the characters, and there was a character that wrote for a TV show that was like bedridden, and in the movie this guy's in an iron lung. And Walter's just like, yo, we're big fans of your work.
Like he's deaf.
Yeah. So they talk to Larry, and they're not getting anything out of the kid. And Walter, having seen a brand new Corvette in the front yard, assumes that the kid used the money to buy the Corvette, and he's so like, you know what? I'm gonna teach you a lesson. You watch out that window. And probably one of my favorite TV edits for a movie. This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps. Instead of this is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass. Fucking hilarious. And so he's beating the shit out of the car, and then some guy comes out.
Yeah, the neighbor.
Oh, my fucking car. I just bought this a week ago. And then it cuts to them. The dude's driving, and Donnie and Walter are eating In-N-Out on the way back.
And the windshield is gone.
Yeah. And then we're back to the dude at his apartment. It's just when he's nailing in the wood piece to try and keep people from coming into his... Yeah. So it's another moment of, not quite, you're not wrong, you're just an asshole, Walter, but, like, of course the car made it home. Like, after the guy beat the shit out of the car with the crowbar.
Yeah, you're talking to me while I'm at home.
And then, so he's nailing in this piece of wood into the floor, and then after he gets off the phone, he grabs a chair and he props it against the door. Under the door handle to prevent people from just coming in. Because that's happened several times in this movie.
And he turns around, and then the two guys
opens, and it opens outwards, and the chair just falls down. It's just like...
And it's the two guys from the very beginning of the movie where, and they're just like...
Carpet pisser.
Yeah, we're here, these Jackie Treehorns looking for you. We're looking for the deadbeat Lebowski.
Yeah, I know which Lebowski you are.
Lebowski.
And, so we go to Jackie Treehorn's place.
It's like tribal music going on in the background. Like everybody's dancing around. Like
everybody's dancing, partying. It's kind of like a wannabe Hugh Hefner kind of scenario. Like
essentially, yeah.
You kind of get that like Jackie Treehorn. He's in the adult entertainment business and he's trying to emulate Hugh Hefner. And we get some boobs in that scene.
Yep.
Some nice boobies. And then they're in the house and they're talking to each other. And the dude mentions the smut business. So like, well, I don't know much about that. I'm an entertainer.
Which one was log jamming?
Yeah, which one was log jamming? And so they're talking about, the adult entertainment industry, and Jackie Treehorn's so like, yeah, it's all becoming, like virtual computerized.
Computerized, yeah.
So like, and the dude's just like, yeah, I still jerk off manually.
Of course you do, dude.
Of course you do, dude. Yeah. And then another favorite line in that scene is like, the brain is the most erogenous zone. And the dude's just all like, yeah, for you, man. For you, baby. And Jackie Treehorn makes him White Russian. Dude drinks it. Jackie Treehorn makes him another one. Gets a phone call. Goes, appears to be writing something down. And it's like, excuse me, I gotta go, handle something. The dude runs over and he like uses the side edge of the pencil to kind of see what the impression was left on the notepad, and it's just a drawing of a guy with a big dick.
Yep.
And Jackie Treehorn's coming back, so he rips off the page and runs back to the couch and sits down, and they're talking. Then they realize that, the dude realizes that he's been drugged, and he's like, the mean Caucasian just like sinks back into the couch.
The dude didn't want much, just wanted his rug back.
And so
which sets up the second dream sequence.
Another favorite line. This scene has a lot of my favorite lines, which is, and I still use this one to this day, along with Do Bears Wear Funny Hats. Jackie Treehorn asks him if he wants another drink. And he's like, yeah, is the Pope shit in the woods?
Is the Pope shit in the woods?
Does the bear shit in the woods? No, does the Pope shit in the woods? Do bears wear funny hats? That's what I always say, and I got that from this movie because it's just fucking hilarious.
It's a great fucking it's a great line.
Yeah,
which again lends to the dude's intelligence and quickness.
Yeah, it's just like he comes off kind of stupid throughout most of the movie, but he's obviously got a lot more going on. He just saves it for more sarcastic, quippy moments instead of applying it to the task at hand or what's actually going on.
Yep.
Like he overthinks things when it shouldn't be overthought.
Yep.
Yeah, he had it right the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
She kidnapped herself, Well,
she went on vacation, and the Big Lebowski just kind of took advantage of that, saying that it was a kidnapping, and he took
the nihilists knew that she was going to be gone, so they sent the ransom note. And well, I'm getting a little ahead of the story, but I mean, you've seen this movie, you're watching this video, you know what's going on.
Exactly. I mean, this is a great movie. You should definitely watch it.
Oh, absolutely. Then we get the gutter balls dream sequence.
The gutter balls dream sequence. It was so great.
It starts off as it's a Jackie Treehorn production. It's like the dude and Maude,
The dudes in the electrician's outfit.
Yeah. That the one guy was wearing.
Yeah, that the nihilist was wearing in the in the beaver picture.
Yeah.
Earlier in the movie. Log jamming. And he's dancing down the stairs, and then he gets to the guy who's handing out the bowling shoes.
And it's Saddam.
Saddam Hussein's hands him his gold and silver shoes. And
yep. Then the scene, it's all going great for the dude, the scene's great for him, and then it turns sour for him, it goes into a bad trip sort of thing.
There's just the nihilists chasing after him in with
red
jumpsuits, with giant scissors, because they're going to cut off his Johnson.
Cut off your Johnson.
Cut off your Johnson.
And then, it's flash of him running down the road, and then he gets picked up by the cops, and they bring him into the station. He's still totally out of it, and the police chief is like, yeah, and Jackie Treehorn had to eject you for being too drunk and disorderly, and starts just giving him a verbal lashing, and then the dude says something to him. What does he say?
I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention.
I'm sorry I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. And the cop hurls a freaking
a mug at his
mug
face.
right in his head.
You fucking fascist.
Fascist.
Fucking fascist.
And so he gets thrown out of the police station, and then he's in a cab going back home, and the cab driver's listening to the Eagles. And the dude's just all like, hey man, can you change the music? I've had a bad night and I hate the fucking Eagles. And the cab driver gets all pissed off at him.
Pulls him out.
Pulls him over and throws him out of the cab. And then as we're seeing Bunny driving down the street in a red convertible singing Viva Las Vegas, and it shows her foot, and she's got all her toes and everything.
Yep. Shows both her feet and she's got all her toes.
Yeah. And then the dude gets back to the apartment.
Well, it cuts to a diner scene where it's got the nihilist and the lake. And
oh yeah.
And they all order something.
They're all ordering things.
Three of them order lingonberry pancakes.
Yeah.
One of them orders the pigs in a blanket.
Pigs in blankets.
And it shows up. It pans to the girl, and then it pans down at her foot, and she's missing her pinky toe.
She's got like a cowboy boot, but the top is cut off, and her pinky toe is wrapped up and bloody.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, they cut off her toe to send to like
the Big
make
Lebowski.
it seem like a credible threat.
Yep. And then it cuts to
the dude back in his apartment.
And he trips over the block of wood that he put there.
He put in there. He's laying on the ground and he looks up and Maud is right over him. And then
he's like, "That's my bathrobe.
That's my robe." And then she takes it off. She's like, "Love me, Jeffrey." And so they do it, and they're laying in bed, and she's all like, "Well, tell me about your past." And this is like the first time we get any backstory on the dude. Like so far throughout the entire movie, the dude's just been the dude.
Yep.
And it's just like in the now moments. Like with Walter, we get like all this stuff that's from the past. That he was a Vietnam veteran, that he has an ex-wife, that he converted to Judaism for, and like that kind of sets up the whole Walter's living in the past thing, and then like the dude's always living in the present. So this is the first time the dude talks about his past. And it was part of like some hippie stuff, and he was a roadie for Metallica.
Says they're assholes.
Said they're assholes.
Bunch of assholes.
Bunch of assholes.
That's my favorite part. I fucking love that. I love that line. That was great.
Yeah. And then, so he starts coughing because he's smoking a joint, and he like inhales probably some like ash or whatever.
Probably.
And he jumps out of bed. And goes and he starts making himself a drink.
He makes him a white
himself a white Russian. He pours some of the half and half into the drink, and then smells it to make sure it's good, and then goes to continue pouring it. And so he makes the drink, and then you see Maud kind of getting into these
odd positions,
contortions, and stuff. And he's like, "What is that? Yoga?
Is that yoga?"
He's like, no, it's to improve the chances of conception. And he spits out his drink, and she's just so like, "No, I don't want you to be part of the child's life. Like, I was looking for somebody that would give me a child, but not actually want to be part of the child, raising the child."
Yep.
So we got that whole thing going on, and that's also the part where she says that, like, her dad doesn't really have any money, and that he lives off of an allowance from her.
Yep.
And
that's when he pieces everything together, and he's like, yes! So he calls Walter. It's still Saturday. It's still Shabbos. Mm-hmm. And he's free. He's like, dude, I shouldn't be answering the phone. What do you want? And he's like, Walter, you need to take me over to the Big Lebowski. Like, we need to go. He's like, dude, I can't drive. It's Shabbos. He's like, Walter, if you don't pick me up right now, I'm off the bowling team.
I'm off the bowling team. And so, next scene is a dude leaving his apartment, and he confronts the guy that's been following him, the private eye that has been trying to find Bunny, and we really find out that she's one of the Knudsens.
The Knudsens.
And the private eye thinks that the dude is also a private eye, and that he's like, doing great work and everything. The dude's just like, no, I'm just the dude. Like, stay away from my lady
special lady friend.
Well, it's just the lady friend. When the private eye is the one that says special lady.
Yeah.
No, man, just not my special lady friend, man. I'm just helping her conceive. and
then Walter finally shows up, and they get to the Big Lebowskis, and that's when they see the car like halfway in the fountain, and that's when they figure out that like Bunny was. That's when Brand's standing there is like talking about how Bunny was left and didn't tell anybody. Yeah. And she's just in the background, like about to go in the pool, naked.
Yeah, naked, just stripping off all her clothes and stuff.
And then that's when they go talk to the Big Lebowski, and everything that's when everything he suspected was right. Yeah. She left, and he took advantage of the dude.
Yeah. Well, he did think she was kidnapped because he got the ransom letter and everything, but he was using that as an opportunity to take money out of his foundation and make a quick $1 million, and then pin everything on the dude.
Yep.
And so, that's when Walter's just like, I've seen a lot of spinals in my day. This dude can fucking walk. And pulls the Big Lebowski out of his wheelchair and freaking drops him on the floor. Yep. And it's like, no, he can't walk. He is actually a cripple.
Help me
get him in his chair.
And then go back to the bowling alley.
Yeah, and then it's back to the bowling alley again. And this is the first time, so every time we've entered the bowling alley, we've seen
Donnie get a strike.
The bowling ball going down the lane, strike, and it's Donnie. And he's always like, he's the shit. He's probably the best bowler on the team.
Yeah.
And this scene, it enters, and he misses one pin. One pin doesn't fall.
Yep.
And he's got that concerned look on his face, like, what the hell? That's not right. That doesn't... There's no way. That was perfect.
This is the only other time that he also is sitting with Walter and the dude in the same spot.
Yeah.
A lot of the time he's on the other side of the benches, except, the beginning of the movie and the end of the movie is where he's sitting with the dude and Walter.
And
while he's sitting there next to Walter, he's feeling his hand. He's got a pain in his hand. It could be from bowling. Or it could be from what is going to happen.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you noticed that, but yeah, when he sat down, I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh shit, here you go.
Yeah. Probably from another take or something. But, and then we get another shot of the Jesus. So, this fucking,
day of rest
shit. I fucked you on Saturday, I'll fuck you next Wednesday.
Yep.
And, Walter, I love the way Walter's sitting there and he's got his glasses half on. He's just kind of staring at him. It's just whatever. And then they're leaving the bowling alley, and they walk out the door, and the dude's just all like, "Well,
I fucking did it. I killed my
fucking car." And the car's on fire, and the nihilists are there. One of them has a boombox.
One has got a boombox. They're playing
techno music and shit. Yeah. And they're all wearing matching outfits, like unitards, kind of like the ones that they were wearing in the dream sequence.
Yeah.
Except they're all black.
They're all black.
And fun fact that I didn't mention in one of the earlier scenes, but one of the nihilists is played by Flea.
Flea
from the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't recognize him until the second time I saw the movie. I was like, oh man, there he is. Yeah. They did mention him in the credits.
Yeah.
There he was.
Yeah. But yeah, they're just all like, where's the money, Lebowski? It's all like, you don't have a hostage. That's how ransoms work. You gotta have a hostage or there's no fucking deal. And so, they're just all like, whatever, we fuck you up. We take the money. And Walter's and the dude and Donnie are just
the dude and Donnie are counting money. Walter's like, No, I'm going to keep my money.
What's mine is mine.
Yeah. Come on with your nine-toed woman.
The guy fucking pulls out a sword, and then Walter winds up and hurls his bowling bag with the ball right into Flea's chest.
His chest. Yep.
Fucking probably breaks a rib, collapses along.
Yep.
And throughout the rest of the scene, he's just like crawling on the floor, gasping for air. And like the whole time, like the dude's just, like no, like he doesn't want to fight. Walter bites the ear off of one dude, and then
knocks him out, like punches him in the face.
Yeah. And then goes up and uses the boombox to beat the shit out of the other guy.
Yep.
And then, right after that happens, it's like, man down! And Donnie's on the ground, he's having a heart attack. And so, the scene ends, it cuts off, and, like Donnie died, and they're in a funeral home.
Yeah, they had him cremated as per his wishes.
As per what we feel his last wishes
what his last wishes would be. Yeah. so because they don't even really know Donnie.
Yeah, it seems
too much. Like they seem like he's always an afterthought. He's definitely like not one of the main characters. He's not really a supporting character. He's just kind of there.
He's just kind of there. Yeah. He had some,
He had good lines.
He had good lines, but very few lines.
Yeah, very few.
Which at the time was very
weird. He was always
Steve
behind. Buscemi. He was always behind both of them.
On the conversations and everything. You're out of your element, Donnie.
Yeah. And after they go to a Ralph's to pick up a coffee can, they pick up his ashes and take him to. They take him to. I think it's Malibu.
Probably.
I think it's Malibu. Some of like the cliffs along Malibu.
Yeah.
And they dump his ashes, which probably just get caught in the
wind.
First
we get Walter's.
Eulogy. Walter's eulogy.
Walter's eulogy, where it starts off, I'm just like talking about Donnie and how he was a surfer, and surfed from the beaches of La Jolla to Leo Carrillo, up to Pismo, and then he took him like so many of our time before his time, and then goes into a Vietnam rant.
It's like, oh god.
And the dude's just standing back there, just like arms crossed, like obviously pissed off at Walter, but still not standing or doing anything.
Yep.
He's just standing there with his arms crossed, and then Walter scatters the ashes, but the wind takes it and blows it all into the dude's face. And then he turns around and he's like, oh shit, sorry dude, sorry dude.
Fucking Walter. Everything's a travesty with you, man.
What's that fucking shit about Vietnam?
And Walter just hugs him.
Sorry,
the dude's
dude.
Like, whatever.
Well, Walter just keeps going, I'm sorry dude. Sorry dude. And, freaking, they hug, and then Walter's just like,
let's go bowling.
Fuck it, dude. Let's go bowling.
Let's go bowling.
So, they go back to the bowling alley, and we get another encounter with the
stranger.
With the stranger, Sam Elliott.
Yep.
And, and this is where we get probably the most quoted line of the entire movie. The dude abides.
The dude abides. Take great. What was it? I take comfort. I take great comfort in that fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the dude abides, and we pretty much end the movie more or less where we started. Short a rug, Donnie.
Yep. Nothing really gets resolved, and the dude's just kind of going along with everything.
Yeah, he's just going with the flow like he does.
Mm-hmm.
The tumbling tumbleweed.
Yep.
And
wherever it leads him.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's like the only real plot line that's solved, or like that's actually resolved, is where is Bunny? Like, was she kidnapped? Did she kidnap herself? Where was she? No, she just up and fucked off for a while and then came back. And then, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the dude never gets his rug back, or gets a rug.
Nope.
We don't know what happens with the bowling league. If they win, if they have a replacement for Donnie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just everything in the movie, it doesn't really go anywhere. And even Sam Elliott is just like, but it was a pretty good story.
But it was a pretty
right?
good story, right?
Yeah, and it was a pretty good story.
Yep.
But with that, that was the Big Lebowski.
That's the Big Lebowski. Yeah, you should watch the movie because it's very entertaining. It's a good movie. There's nothing really resolved by the end of the movie, but it's entertaining. It's got great lines, great wit, great casting on every angle.
Absolutely.
Every bit
Jeff Bridges is like. The Coen brothers even admitted, they didn't have to give Jeff Bridges much direction.
No, they didn't.
It's just he pretty much asked, did I smoke a joint before, this conversation? And if they said yes, then he would go into the corner and, rub his eyes until they were bloodshot and then do the scene.
Yep.
And then he just did the scene. That was it. And he was like the perfect embodiment of the dude.
The dude, yeah, exactly.
And, freaking... Walter, John Goodman plays the shit out of that character.
Yep.
To where it's one of the most fucking hilarious characters ever.
Maud's very good as
Maud's good.
Maud's character's good. Big Lebowski's good. So is Bran. Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Back when Tara Reid was still hot.
Yep. Hadn't got that botched boob job.
Oh man, so sad.
Such sadness.
Yeah.
Anyway, which brings us to our big announcement.
Oh yeah.
Kind of.
Announcement.
It's a relatively big announcement. But we will be posting 2 videos a week. The one is probably going to be starting either Sunday or Monday. Be posting either Sunday or Monday about anime. About this season's anime. We're both going to be talking about animes, both that we both watch and some that we're watching individually.
Yeah.
And we're going to try and still get more of our videos posted either Thursday or Friday, like we have. And yeah, we're going to try and do 2 videos a week, continuing on from that, being anime.
Basically starting the beginning of October.
Yep, pretty much because that's when most of the anime start the fall seasons.
Yeah. So
there are a couple
after the first week of October.
Yep.
We should be first episode into a lot of the new anime seasons. Probably won't be starting with any, continuation seasons.
Yeah.
I think Black Clover is coming out with the 2nd season, or is continuing.
It's continuing.
Yeah. Obviously, One Piece is continuing like it does because it never ends.
Yeah.
But there's going to be new seasons for new anime and new seasons for anime that have already been continuing, like Food Wars.
Yep.
We will be covering that one because that's one of our favorite anime.
Yeah, we might
do a quick synopsis of it before we talk about that one.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's going to be one hopefully not too big video about all the anime that we've watched in the week and whether or not we'd recommend picking it up, or if we're like wait on this one. We'll watch a couple more episodes and we'll get back to you on it.
Yeah. We'll keep you updated throughout the entire fall season and fall, winter, spring, summer. Yeah. We're just gonna keep doing 2 videos a week about anime as well as movies. So hopefully you enjoy that, and as we end all of our videos,
here's to you.
Here's to me.
From true life we shall always be.
And if by chance we disagree,
well, then screw you. I got no drink.
Yeah.
Well, here's to me.
Here's to me.
James.